right, so let's start by coming to a nice hip width distance stance. All right, so let's start by coming to a hip width distance stance on our mat. Plugging into the big toe edge, the pinky edge, and either side of the heels. Then coming from the ground up, building from the ground out, we're gonna plug into our feet, lift our arches up, bring that energy from the mat into our knees, keeping a slight bend in them. Stacking the hips over the knees here, and tucking the tailbone under, not letting the bum pop out, but tucking it under, finding that strength in the core. Stacking the shoulders over the hips here, bringing the hands alongside, and gently closing the eyes here or softening the gaze. Today in this 60-minute class, we will be focusing on tapping into that power that is always there within us. So maybe taking a moment here to set a mantra or a mission statement, or just to come completely into the breath, the natural breath in and out. A mantra I'm offering you today is, I am learning to process the journey. I am growing and I am okay with it. I am powerful and energetic. I am capable. Just choosing something that fits maybe what you're feeling, what you need. And then gently blinking open the eyes if they aren't already. Let's come into a little shake the bones. So we're just going to pivot the shoulders back and forth, letting the arms be extension of the shoulders here. Rooting down into the feet, keeping the slight bend in the knees. And gently tucking the chin here, letting the gaze follow, letting the torso be just like this one plank that's moving side to side. Yeah. Just allowing your arms to get free, coming into a little spinal twist. Maybe even tapping yourself when you come through. And allowing yourself just to warm up here, to give yourself permission to be silly or curious or creative. Coming into the sensations of your body and noticing and feeling. Continue doing this. Careful not to lock out the knees. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently come back to center. Nice. Coming into your natural breath. Or starting to work in some pranayama, some ujjayi breath. That victorious breath that sounds like a wave. In and out through the nose, in and out through the mouth. Gentle, even breaths here. To relax the body here. To energize the blood system. To oxygenate it. That word. Beautiful. And replugging it into all four corners of your feet if you aren't there already. We're going to inhale, reach both arms up, and then we're going to bring the right hand alongside of us. Reaching up through the fingertips, we're going to begin to fall over to the right side, taking the gaze up to the ceiling, twisting the heart open, and coming back through center. We'll take it to the other side, reaching the right arm up, bringing the left alongside of you. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, begin to fold. Taking a nice deep breath here for the nice big side body stretch. And come back through center. We'll take it to the other side, bringing the left hand up. And this time we're going to bring the right hand up to reach it. Taking this into the core a little bit more. And back up through center and over to the left side last time. Coming into these big, like, crescent moons. And come back to center. We'll circle the arms around. And then take it the opposite direction. And coming to the top of your mat, forward fold, keeping the knees as bent as you need here to allow this to come into the lower back instead of being in the glutes or the hammies. Letting the shoulders and the head cascade down here. Maybe shaking the head yes a few times. Maybe no a few times. Maybe walking your knees, a walking uttanasana. Bending one knee at a time, getting into those hamstrings. And on your next inhale, bring your hands up onto your shins, past your knees, into your hip creases. Really pushing your palms against the thighs here as your crown extends forward and your tail goes back for a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, surrender, grabbing the opposite elbows here and just swaying back and forth in ragdoll a few times. Releasing the hands, inhale, lift up halfway, and exhale, fold, rooting down to the feet. We're going to rise all the way up, coming to an extended mountain, bringing the hands to prayer. Exhale the hands to heart center. Drop the hands down to reach them all the way up, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into a high plank pose, drawing the crown of the head forward, the heels back, getting nice and long in the side bodies here. Stay here. We're going to shift forward, coming into our chaturanga, keeping the elbows close to the body, taking the gaze up, lifting the chest, drop down to the knees, or come into your upward facing dog, broadening through the collarbones here, really rooting down all the way in the back of the toenails. And try to stack the shoulders over the wrist here. Push back to downward facing dog, curling the toes under, and pedaling the feet when you get there a few times. Bending the knees in towards the body, lifting a leg, taking any movement that feels authentic to you. And then coming into your downward facing dog, spreading through the hands here, really planting down into that L of the first finger and the thumb. And then finding that external rotation in the shoulders by drawing your arms out to the outside, your elbow pits moving them out to the outside. Letting the head drop between the biceps. And breathing here for 2 more breaths. Feeling length, feeling strength, beginning to warm up. On your next exhale, come up onto your toes. Now we're going to walk our toes to meet our hands, but we're going to stay pushing into our hands here. Coming up onto the toes, coming into the super high down dog, really pushing and finding that shoulder strength, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, extended mountain pose. Maybe taking the gaze up and back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands and step or hop back to chaturanga. Now if you're going to hop back, be mindful of keeping a bend in the elbows. So really planting down into the hands. Yeah. Acting like a spring, a shock system for our body. We never want to jump or fall into a joint that could potentially lock out and harm ourselves. Nice, taking 2 more breaths here. On your next exhale, look forward, bend your knees, and step or float. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. One more round of Sthira Namaskara A, Sun Salutation A. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step her back. Go through your vinyasa here. Plugging everything in. Holding everything close to midline. Knowing that you can always opt out. You can always add on. Listening to your body and finding strength in that listening, in that connection, right? Yoga means to yoke together not only the movement and breath, but the mind and body. And sometimes listening to that and saying, hey, we need to back off. That is a power too. One more breath here. And then exhale, come into a high plank pose. Yeah, really getting long in the side body here. Careful not to keep your hips down too low or too high, but trying to find that sweet spot where your belly button, your core is really lifting in and up. You're beginning to feel some heat. Come forward over your shoulders, please, and learn to trust the journey. Oftentimes we don't grow when things are easy. We grow when we are facing challenging. So really pushing up and through the hands, protracting those shoulders, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Nice. Taking one more breath here. And then on your exhale, bend your knees, lift forward, step or float. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Heel toe the feet towards one another so that they're almost touching. On your inhale, reach your hands up as you sink your hips down. Coming into Utkatasana, chair pose. Yeah, now drawing your legs towards one another and not try to come into this really super deep bend, but what we want is our knees to stay stacked over our heels. We want to broadening through our chest here. We want to feel our feet engaged, but not dump into our toes. So everyone lift up their toes here. And then exhale the hands to heart center. We're now going to come up onto the toes, drawing the legs towards one another, keeping the core strong. Stay here, add on by sinking down. Take a breath here. And sink all the way down into your heels, staying up onto the toes if you can. Just trying it out. And then we're going to grab onto the tops of our shins, and we're going to rock and roll on our back a few times. Rocking it out lengthwise. And then eventually we're going to try to come back up onto our toes. And then come all the way back up to chair, set the heels down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back. Go through your vinyasa flow. Staying true to your body, staying in integrity. Beautiful. On your next inhale, bring your right foot to meet your right hand, setting up your foundation for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. So finding your stance, pivoting your back foot out, and then slowly coming up when you're ready. Taking a peek down at that knee and make sure it's not collapsing inwards, but rather you're opening up to the pinky toe edge. Your back leg is super engaged here as much as your front. You're pulling your right hip crease back as you're trying to spiral your left ribs forward here. Lengthening the tailbone down as you take your gaze up. And then exhale, frame your foot, step back to your vinyasa flow. Really focusing on growth today, and this week especially. Bringing that left foot forward, setting up your Warrior 1 on the left side. Spring is in the air here. Everything's opening up and growing and green and fertile, and it's raining. So it's nice to look at sometimes this idea of linear growth, like watching a flower grow. But it's also important to remember that growth and healing is not linear, always. That things take their time and happen at the process that they need to. So breathing here for one more breath, telling yourself you trust that journey. And then bringing the hands down, stepping back, going through your vinyasa. There's a quote by Picasso, Pablo Picasso, that I like. And he said that everything you can imagine is real. So all that kind of thing, all those things that you want to grow into, that you want to manifest, that you want to imagine, it can totally be possible. Taking one more nice deep breath here. On your next exhale, look forward, bend your knees, step or float. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Heel toe the feet towards one another on your next inhale. Sink your hips down to come up to chair. Nice. Bring the hands to heart center here, and let's twist to the right, bringing the left elbow into the right knee. Taking a peek down at your knees here, making sure the left isn't popping more forward than the right. Inhale, come back through center. And exhale, bring the hands to heart center, twist to the left. Yeah, thinking skin to muscle to bones here. Pulling everything in towards the midline. Inhaling, come back up to center and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back, come into your vinyasa. Knowing that how you feel is more important than how things look. Right? So doing what feels good, what feels right. Working, putting effort in, but finding that softness too. On your next exhale, right foot to right hand, warrior one. Coming up for a breath, really drawing that front knee forward, finding expansion here. And then exhale, frame that foot, step back. Chaturanga. Upward and downward. Left foot forward, warrior one. Yeah, readjusting how you need to adjust to find your asana. One more inhale here. And exhale, frame the foot. Come through your vinyasa flow. Yeah, beautiful. Let's bring the knees down, out as wide as the mat. Toes to touching, sink the heels back. Sink the hips back towards the heels. Then reach the fingers towards the front of the room and let your heart melt down towards the ground. Each exhale, letting go of a little bit of tension or sensation. Letting go of any gripping. To allow yourself just to settle in right here in this present moment. Right? You're not your future, you're not your past, you're right here, right now in this body. There's a quote I read recently that I enjoyed, and it said, every time we level up, we have to readjust our boundaries. What was okay before no longer works. The people in our lives, our self-care routine, rituals, or environment and situations that we put ourselves. We must engage, we must adjust, we must meet our new vibrational frequency in order to grow. So all that stuff that used to work for us, maybe it's not working anymore. And maybe this is your signal from the environment, from the universe, to grow, to level up, to meet yourself where you're at. Taking one more inhale here. Exhale, coming into tabletop pose. And we'll take a couple rounds of cat-cow, dropping the belly, taking the gaze up. And then pulling the heart back through, up towards the ceiling. Protracting the shoulders away. And then keep moving with your own breath a few times. Doing what feels good instead of what looks good. Leaving the ego out of this. So that we can tap into our power that was in us all along. Yeah, nice. So that we can grow. Allowing the self to open, to be bigger and brighter than anything we could have ever imagined. One more round of breath to shake it out how you need. And then curl the toes under, push back to downward facing dog. Nice. On your next exhale, bend your knees, take your gaze forward, step or hop. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Slowly roll all the way up. Reaching the arms up when you get there. And then exhale the arms into cactus arms here. Planting into the left foot, we're going to reach the right knee up. Coming in line with our hip, flexing the toes out as if we're going to take a step up. Nice. And now imagine you have a paintbrush in your toes and you can paint the most beautiful painting here. So just add some lubrication to your hips, move your foot however feels fun. Add a little dance, a little balance into the Shiva. Feeling free to get a little funky, to fall, to know that the ground's right there. One more breath to play around. And then come back to center. Beautiful. We'll bring the hands to heart center here, and we'll slowly bring our foot to the back of the mat, gently setting the toes on the ground, coming into our crescent lunge. Drawing that front knee forward, taking as much width as you need here to make your stance stable. And trying to stack that back heel over the toes here. Yeah, letting the tailbone come down, activating that back knee by giving it a little bit of bend here, and reach the arms up. Opening through the heart, the chest, dropping the shoulders away from the ears here. Then we'll exhale and bring the hands alongside of us, leaning the heart forward. Beautiful. Planting down into that left foot on our next inhale. We're going to find lightness in the right foot. Slowly come back up to Dancing Shiva. Take a nice deep breath here. And then exhale the hands to heart center. We're going to find that crescent lunge again. Yeah. Nice. Breathing here. Noticing, growing all the way from your toes, the roots in the ground, all the way up through your fingertips. Right? Maybe noticing something new in each asana too, not letting them get stagnant. Not just going through the motions. Bringing the hands alongside of you, like airplane arms, palms face down, lean forward here. Slowly bring that weight into that left foot, reach the right foot up. Dancing Shiva. Nice. Yeah, flexing that bottom foot. Using that core, growing in the side body here. Bring the hands to heart center. One more time, crescent lunge. Yeah. Maybe it looks graceful or not so graceful, as long as you're just noticing the body and breathing, you're doing it right. Nice. Slowly bring the hands down to frame that front foot. We're going to find lightness again in that back foot, kick up to standing splits. Flexing the toes down, lifting from the heel here. Maybe bringing the hand to the ankle. Maybe finding needle pose, bringing both hands to the ankle. Just trying. Yeah, really drawing that inner ankle in and up. And then release the foot down, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly roll all the way up. And then bring the arms into your cactus arms here. Setting up for your Dancing Shiva. Plugging into that right big toe mound. Bringing the knee in line with the hip here. And then begin to paint your canvas. Yeah, using your drishti here, your gaze, to softly focus on something. I noticed here how, emptying your mind helps you really stay present in your body. Coming back to center, bring the hands to heart, Anjali Mudra. And then slowly we're going to bring that left foot to the back of the mat, setting up for our crescent. Taking your time to set up your foundation, your width, drawing that front knee forward as you draw your heels over your toe. Trying to stack your shoulders over your hips here, reach the arms up. Finding length in the side body, even maybe reaching up and back, making that crescent shape with the body. Maybe not. And then we're going to slowly bring the hands behind us, airplane arms, leaning forward. Not getting stuck in the small stories, not letting loss feel like you're losing everything, but just being open. Bringing the hands to heart center, we're going to slowly come up to dancing Shiva again. Breathing here. Yeah, finding that strength and flexibility so we can make stability here. Bringing the hands to heart center, slowly bringing that foot back. Crescent lunge. Feeling free here to come down onto that back knee if you need a little support. Bring the hands alongside you, airplane arms, lean forward. Slowly make your way up to dancing Shiva. Nice breathing here, trying to keep the hips square. Exhale the hands to heart center. Come back into that crescent lunge. Reaching the arms up, taking the gaze up here. Growing out through all sides of you. Expansion here. And then bring the hands down to frame that front foot. Pop that back leg up, standing splits. Trying to not lock that standing leg out. Trying to keep the hips in line, or even opening up here, but just committing to one, to either keeping the hips aligned or to opening, stacking the hips. Maybe bringing both hands to the ankle, maybe just one hand. And then release out, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Step back on your mat about like 1 foot here if you're at the top of it. Yeah, we're going to place the right hand down, plug into the right foot. Slowly find our half moon here. Stacking the shoulders, stacking the hips. Maybe even bringing a block underneath the hand for support. Maybe taking the gaze all the way up to that top hand and finding expansion in the lungs, space in the mind. Nice. Adding on by reaching for that back foot, adding that bind on here. Woo! Staying here, adding on a bind, reaching for that back foot if it's available. Staying here, adding on, finding lightness in the hands, bringing it to heart center, or maybe coming all the way up. Nice, maybe you don't make it. Other ways, we're gonna reach around, reach for the inside of that foot. Draw the knees together here, and just breathe. Getting a little glute stretch in. Release that leg out, shake it out. Nice, we'll take it to the other side, coming to the middle of the mat. And bringing the left hand down, kind of diagonal from your left foot. And then slowly opening up by stacking the hips. Stacking the shoulders, flexing that top foot here. Finding maybe a little bit more challenge if you're on some carpet. And staying here, adding on, reaching for that foot. Adding on, bringing the hand to heart center. Adding on by coming all the way up to standing. Coming to this glute stretch here, drawing the knees towards one another. Drawing the heel towards the bum. Slowly release out. Shake it out, shake it out. Let's come to gorilla at the front of our mat. Bringing our palms to meet our soles on our feet. The knuckles are down on the ground. Maybe the toes are walking up towards the wrists even. And we'll all inhale, keeping the hands where they are. Lift up halfway, and then exhale, fold, finding a deeper bend here. Drawing the elbows to the back of the room. Recentering on the breath. Trusting the journey of this process. We're all at different places in our yoga journey. And just being content with that, being okay. Knowing that we all need to jump our own hurdles, face our own challenges to grow how we need to grow. Taking 2 more breaths here. Releasing the hands, and inhale, lift up halfway, find length in that spine. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step or hop back, going through your vinyasa, or just meeting in a downward facing dog. Readjusting our boundaries, letting go of what no longer serves us. Taking 2 more breaths here. And on your next exhale, bring your right foot to meet your right hand, setting up for warrior 2, pivoting on that back foot, and cartwheeling the hands open here. Checking in with both hands, make sure they're not flops, but extending out through the fingertips. Drawing that front knee forward, please, and taking the gaze over the front fingertips. Nice. We'll come into a little vinyasa here, dropping the back hand down, bringing the right hand up, revolve your warrior. Exhale, bring the hands back to warrior 2, and then come all the way down, finding your extended side angle. Inhale, lift back up, dropping that hand down, reaching up and behind, and exhaling to side angle. Nice, one more time, inhale up and back. And exhale, find your side angle here. We'll hang out for just a moment. Spiraling your ribs up towards the ceiling. Drawing your tailbone under here. Allowing your myofascia, the stuff that holds us all together underneath our skin, to just find length here from the outer left foot all the way to the fingertips. Nice. Bring that top hand down. We're going to come down onto our left knee or stay lifted here. We're going to find our side plank. So feel free to just go into it, or otherwise grab onto your big toes with your right hand. Come onto the side of your left foot. Push down into the ground to lift up. And slowly release out, downward facing dog. Nice. On your next exhale, left foot to left hand, Virabhadrasana 2. Finding your foundation, finding all 4 corners of the feet. Drawing that knee towards the left side of the room here to stack over that ankle. Yeah, finding that bend, please. And extending through all 10 fingers. Broadening from the chest all the way out. We'll drop that hand down, reach the left hand up. And then we're going to drop it all the way down, side angle. Inhale, come back up. Bring that left arm all the way to the back of the room, keeping a bend in that front knee. Exhale down, side angle. One more time, inhale, come up. And bring that right hand down, lift that left hand up and back. And then make your way into your side angle. Knowing we'll stay here for a few breaths. Feeling free to add on a bird of paradise, a bind. Staying where you're at. bringing a block underneath the hand, growing how you need to grow. One more breath here. And then plant that hand down. We're going to step that back foot to meet the front. Forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Oh, I just realized we forgot our side plank. Let's add it on here by coming to a forward fold, stepping back into our side angle here on the left side. We're going to bring the right hand down as we pivot on that right foot. Feeling free to just make your way to your side plank here, your supported side plank. Otherwise, lifting up and out of that shoulder. Beautiful. Coming to high plank. And push back, downward facing dog. Nice. On your next exhale, step or hop forward. And we'll come all the way up to standing here. Nice. We'll set up for some equanimity, a little balance, a little more balance. So we're getting down into your left foot here and taking a moment just to consciously empty your thoughts. Get rid of whatever is not serving you. The ego, whatever. And we're going to slowly bring the right knee to the right hand or the right toes to the right hand. Bringing that left hand out for counterbalance or to the hips to remind yourself to stay square. And then we're going to slowly open up to the right side of the room. Taking the gaze maybe all the way over to the left. And then gently coming back through center. Keeping that leg lifted, let's come to a floating tree here. So bending the leg out to the side. And really keeping that headlight to the hips, shining forward. Don't let the foot touch. Let it hover right above your leg, right above your skin. So maybe you can even feel the heat of your leg and the heat of the foot. Nice. Inhale the knee back up. We'll extend the leg out here. We'll pulse up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands to heart center. Let's take an airplane pose. Reaching arms up and back. Flexing that back foot. And thinking upward facing dog with the chest here. Really pushing the hands down to draw the heart up. Drawing the shoulder blades together. And then exhale it out. Shake it out. Shaking it out to allow the somatic senses to just get rid of any of that energy or tension. Kind of like gazelle or deer, things in the bunnies in the wild, when they get attacked by something, they have to literally jump out, shake it out, get it out of their system, and then it's like a restart. So let's take this to the left side, bringing the left knee or toes to the left hand. And then opening up here, bringing the gaze over to the right. Not locking out that standing leg here. Nice, breathing here. And then coming back to center. We'll extend the arms up, kick the leg out here, and pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands to heart center. Let's find a tree pose. I'm still trying to grow. Today my balance is not really working with me today, and that's okay. Knowing that I have to have these, not off days, but these days where balance isn't my forte, and that's okay. Slowly bringing the hands to heart center. Let's come back to that floating tree on the left side. Not letting the foot rest, but rather keeping that knee lifted. Shining the headlights of the hips forward. Maybe even reaching the arms up. Nice. Slowly release out and shake it off. Beautiful. Let's walk the feet a third of the way back. And we're going to come into either a yogic squat or a crow. So I like to bring the hands kind of out facing towards the top corners of the mat here. Plugging the hands in here. And then gently bringing the hips up. Walking the feet forward so that my knees can rest on the back of the biceps. Taking the gaze forward and slowly letting the weight come into the backs of the arms here. Lifting the toes up and pointed towards one another. Using the core strength here for a crow, balasana pose. Feeling free to come down into your yogic squat or take as many crows as you need here to feel complete. We'll all meet in a nice yogi squat here. Bringing the elbows to the insides of the legs here to really push them out. Maybe flipping the backs of the hands to meet one another to take this little tension out of the hands. And then slowly bring the hands forward. We're going to come into a quick down dog here. Nice. So let's find a little bit more balance and play. Rooting into the left hand and the right foot. We're going to slowly lift the right hand and the left foot up. Off the mat. Maybe even reaching around for a bind here. Getting long in the side bodies, using your drishti. Feeling your points of contact into the mat. And then setting the hand and the foot down. Setting up for the opposite side. Just having a little play here, having a little fun. Rooting down. And slowly releasing out. Nice. We'll come to our hands and knees here. And find a quick little child's pose. Feeling free to extend the arms out in front or bringing them to prayer to rest at the nape of the neck. And then slowly releasing out. Coming to your tabletop. Curling the toes under, downward facing dog. Nice. We're going to bring our right foot to meet our right hand. Setting up for a warrior two. Dropping the back hand down onto the back leg. We'll reach that right hand up. And then we're going to slowly straighten that front knee here. Coming back to warrior two, arms as we take our hips back. Bring our right hand forward until eventually we can find our Trikonasana, our triangle pose. Yeah, and finding a little bend in that knee as you stack the shoulders and open up. Careful to not lock anything out here, as well as not to collapse into this front shoulder or ribs. Maybe even finding a little lightness, bringing the hand to the heart. Maybe letting that top hand drop towards the left side of the room. Plugging down into the feet, we're going to come all the way up. Bring the hands to the hips as we pivot our toes all the way to the back of the room. Setting up for warrior two. Finding your stance and foundation first. Then dropping that right hand down as we lift the left hand up. Straightening that front leg, taking it a little deeper. And then bringing the hands forward, shifting the hips back as we reach that left hand down. Trikonasana triangle. And allowing all four corners of both feet to be like really rooted in, drawing the inner arches in and up, finding lightness in that bottom hand, and then lifting all the way back up. Pivot the toes towards the front of the room again. Coming into warrior two. Then straightening that front leg, bringing the hand down. Triangle on the right side last time. On your next inhale, power up with that top hand and take it all the way to the back of the room. Straightening that front leg, triangle. One more breath here. And then inhale, bring the hands to the hips, pivot both feet to the long edge of the left side of the mat. Nice. We're actually going to take our toes so that they're facing the long edges, corners of the mat here. Maybe heel toe the feet in a little bit. We're just going to find a goddess pose, drawing the tailbone under, stacking the shoulders over the ribs here, and pulsing. Sink a little bit lower and pulse. Nice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift up on that left foot, coming onto the toes, and pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set that heel down, come up onto the right toes, and pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set that heel down. Sink a little bit lower here. Breathe. Grow out. Expand. And then exhale, fold forward. Bring the hands on the hips. And then let them dangle down. Yeah. Dropping the head. Feeling free to walk the hands through towards the back of the room. To bring them on your ankles. To set up for a handstand. Taking 5 more breaths here, however you need. And then slowly bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, walking the hands towards that front foot, stepping that back foot all the way in, and slowly coming onto the bum here. Coming all the way onto the back, and setting up for bridge or wheel. So let's all just set up for bridge first. Planting the feet into the ground, trying to reach the hands around to make sure you can kind of like touch your ankles to make sure they're in line with your hips. And then noticing if they need to be closer to your bum to be planted into the ground or a little bit further away. Playing with that for the next few rounds. And on your next inhale, lifting up, working from the front of the body here. Nestling your shoulders under. Pretend you have a block in between your legs and you need to hold that block up. Not let it drop into the lava. Yeah, and then maybe play around with your stance. Maybe you can bring your feet directly below your knees here and really come up. Trying to leave the glutes out of this. Like, yes, the glutes are going to tense up, but not letting that strength come from them. Trying to relax them here. Drawing the knees towards one another. And stay or come down. If you come down, take a full cycle of breath. And then come back up. Maybe this time interlacing the fingers underneath the body. Yeah. Letting the chin have some space here. Not pointing it up, but letting it be like parallel to the ceiling, the ground. And stay or come down. And then go back up for your last bridge or wheel. Taking what your body needs to take. And wherever you're at, breathing. And then gently coming all the way down. Finding Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Bringing the hand to the heart and the belly here. Letting all 10 toes push into one another here. To allow the knees just to drop out and submit to gravity. Knowing that rest too is so important for growth. In our society, we are told to constantly be productive and have this idea of success that just always looks like go, go, go. When in reality, we all could use a little bit more R&R. Downtime. Some softness in our bodies, softness in our minds, so that we can process and heal. Even if that looks like subconscious healing, like we just need some quiet and to be gentle with ourselves. Nice. Slowly close the knees like your favorite book. And then lift the legs up all the way to the ceiling here. Bringing the toes down to the nose. Keeping a bend in the legs too. As much as a bend as you need to keep your lower back really rooted into the ground. Nice. We'll bring our hands up towards the ceiling here. And we're just going to lift our chin and our chest off of the mat. And we're just going to stay. We're going to hold here. Drawing the toes down towards the nose. Breathing. We're not crunching, we're just holding. Yeah. Kind of like we're doing an upside down crow, but with our legs straight here. Nice. One more breath. And then set the shoulders down. Let's actually come into an upside down crow. So bringing the knees out wide, pointing the toes here, and drawing them in towards one another so they're almost touching, if not touching. We're going to bring the hands to the inside of the legs and flex the palms out towards the ceiling like we're holding tiny little teacups. We're going to push the legs into the arms as we push the arms into the legs here. Finding like this power as we push and we push. Nice. Drawing the head up and tucking the chin here just for a moment, and then setting the head back down. Drawing everything into center, lift the head up, then set the head down, bring the knees into the chest, and rock and roll on the lower back here. Yeah. Nice. We'll rock and roll up to a nice easy seat. And we'll bring the legs out in front of us. Let's bend the right knee here and cross it over the left thigh. Flexing that extended leg. And reaching the left arm around to grab the leg here. We'll reach that right hand behind us. Coming into a twist. Inhale, lengthening. And exhale, twisting. Staying here for 3 more breaths. And then gently coming back through center, taking a little counter twist. Nice. And then we're going to curl that left leg around towards our right bum. And we're going to come into cow face pose. Letting both feet splay out. Trying to get the sit bones on the ground and sit up nice and tall here. Feeling free to come into a bind, bringing the hands behind us to clasp onto the hands or the shirt. breathing. Trusting the journey. Letting go of what's holding us back. That negative self-talk. Or just that idea that I can't. Words are so powerful, so telling ourselves stuff like that can really just kind of beat us down subconsciously. So on your next inhale, breathing in some acknowledgement to your badass self, making it to your mat, giving yourself some TLC. Like, yeah, heck yeah, you just showed up for yourself. Slowly releasing the arms, we'll release the legs, and we'll just windshield the knees side to side. Extending the legs out in front of us, flexing that right foot. We're going to wrap the left leg over to the right side of the room, planting all four quarters into the mat. We'll inhale, reach that right arm around, and exhale, bring the left hand behind us for support. Inhale, lengthening here, and exhale, twisting. Two more nice deep breaths here. And then finding a counter twist to the right. And then coming back through to center, wrapping that left foot, the right foot around the left side. Trying to stack the knees here, get as close as possible as you can, while keeping both sit bones on the earth. Maybe coming into a cow face. Maybe one side looks a little bit better or feels a little bit better. And that's just natural. Like on this side, I'm totally grabbing onto my shirt because my arms just don't want to reach, and that's okay. A big part of growth is not getting stuck in like the little things, or like not letting just one loss define the rest of your day. As my grandma would say, it's reacting with grace. Trying to be responsive instead of reaction-based. Moving with grace. Breathing into any of the tension here, and just exhaling it out. Inhale, and slowly release out. Unwinding the legs here, coming into a V here with the legs. Inhale, reaching the arms up, rooting the sit bones down, keeping the heels connected until earth begin to fold forward here. Dropping the head. And slowly walking the hands back up to center and making your way into a nice easy seat. Bringing the hands onto the thighs here, palms face down to find any answers within yourself, palms face up to find the answers from the universe here. Gently softening the gaze or closing the eyes. And just taking a moment to come back into your natural breath. Noticing your breath traveling down the whole length of your spine, inflating and deflating in your belly. Feel your shoulders drop away from your ears as your side body here, maybe you find some more space. Maybe you found a little bit more balance. And reading one thing to you, I hope you allow yourself to be open. I hope you allow your life to be bigger and brighter than you ever thought. I hope you don't get stuck in the small stories. I hope you don't long for what you had because it was familiar. I hope you don't consider everything you lost to be a loss. I hope you don't define yourself by limits of what you know. I hope you recognize the light in you. I hope you let yourself do what you thought you never could. Bringing the hands up to your forehead. Thank you so much for practicing with me, for leaving your ego off the mat today. It's always a practice. It's always a hard thing to do, but hopefully each time we do it, we can grow a little bit bigger and brighter and past the limits that we thought we had. See you next time.